What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the channel. My name is Crib. I claim to know ball. Hopefully, if you follow my content for a little while, you find out whether or not that's a true claim or not. So today, I want to talk about a couple of different topics. Primarily, Embiid dropping 70 points and 18 rebounds. 70 points and 18 rebounds. That's an insane stat line. He had 20-something free throws, but at the end of the day, I really don't think it matters. If it was like 40 free throws, all right, yeah. So he had 40-something with no free throws. You know what I'm saying? That's unbelievable. 70 points. He was absolutely dogging Zach Collins. I wish they gave him more. I wish Pop gave Wemby a little bit more time guarding Embiid, even though Embiid was sunning him as well. I think it was a very impressive performance from the reigning MVP, given the fact that Wembanyama is looking like a Defensive Player of the Year candidate as a rookie. I got nothing to say. It was an unbelievable performance. Then, around the block in the association, you have Karl Anthony Towns, who had 62 points in a loss to the Hornets. So, the Timberwolves are one of the premier teams in the league. Like, not an argument. Like, they're one of the best teams in the league. And to have them get beat by the Charlotte Hornets is really unbelievable. I mean, a lot of the Hornets had some good games. They did get away with a couple of fouls at the end of things, which the NBA did discuss in their last 2-minute report. There were a couple of fouls. There were actually multiple fouls. But Cat had 4 points in the fourth quarter. Missed calls or not, that's not a good way to end a 62-point night. He had over 20 in the first 2 quarters each. Then he had I believe another 14 in the third quarter, and then he finished that up with 4. So, you know, I understand chasing the hot hand. You want to feed the guy who's getting you the buckets, but at the same time, you gotta also play basketball, like winning basketball. Chris Finch in the postgame, the coach of the Timberwolves, voiced his frustrations. He did not like the way that they were moving the ball around. He mentioned feeding the hot hand, and while yes, that's important, it's more important that you play the right kind of basketball and that you are moving the ball around and you are not just finding the hot hand, but finding the open hand. Because a lot of times in that fourth quarter, watching Cat just turn the ball over doing unnecessary things or taking really ill-advised shots may have cost them the game in the end, because Charlotte didn't run away with it. They just, hung on at the end and kind of played basketball, a little bit of a better brand of basketball, if you will. And speaking of Charlotte, they traded away Terry Rozier. So Terry Rozier, who historically was a big Heat fan, a big D-Wade fan, finally gets to head over to Miami, head to South Beach. I think it's a great acquisition for the Heat. I think getting another proven scorer who can just provide a lot more of an offensive backpack and sort of take over for the team, especially because Jimmy's been missing a lot of time. Bam is not exactly the weapon you want on offense. I mean, he could be, but he's just not, for whatever reason I don't understand. But Tyler Hero has pretty much been the bucket getter of the team, and while Tyler Hero is great at that, it would not hurt to have a secondary option for games that Hero misses or for nights where he's just not shooting lights out. From Charlotte's side of things, I think getting rid of Terry was the right thing to do. They didn't get an unbelievable haul. They got a protected first from Miami, and they also received Kyle Lowry. I don't think they're going to buy out Lowry. I think more than likely they're going to ship him off somewhere. Maybe the Lakers. I could see the Lakers, wanting a Lowry. He can shoot better than most of the people on the Lakers right now. He's going to help control the pace. The fact that he's your civilian height doesn't really work to his detriment, because the Lakers do have a lot of size. But I do think the Lakers should prioritize getting a shooter before they prioritize getting a playmaker. Kyle Lowry's also in his late 30s, if I'm not mistaken. He's coming to the twilight of his career, so it's not somebody that if you're the Lakers, you want to necessarily throw away, picks and maybe players, or it's not really a sacrifice you want to make for a guy like Kyle Lowry. Nonetheless, I could see him going there. Maybe he finishes the season with Charlotte and sort of a Tony Parker end of career. It could be. I don't know. But Charlotte moving Rozier is huge for them. It's huge for them because it opens up a lot of opportunity for Brandon Miller. So a couple months ago, Charlotte drafted Brandon Miller over Scoot Henderson. Now, Scoot Henderson was the consensus number 1 pick if Wembanyama did not exist. And when the Hornets drafted Miller, they got hell over it. Everybody on the timeline, Charlotte fan, Charlotte hater, everybody was talking about how big of a mistake they made. And a couple months into the season, and it looks like they made the right call. So now that they've shipped Rozier out, not only is Miller's usage rate going to increase, not only are his shot attempts going to increase, but he's going to have a lot more of an opportunity to blossom as a player, right? I think that could go even further because I wouldn't be surprised if Miles Bridges ends up in Detroit or maybe Indy, or I know Phoenix said they were interested in him. So once Bridges is out the door, I think Brandon Miller and LaMelo are going to be the core building blocks of the Hornets. I would like to say Mark Williams too, but I don't know where he's been. Supposedly he's been having some back problems. Supposedly not like knocking the guy for having an injury, but it almost feels like the Hornets aren't trying to play him because they haven't given really any information as to where he is. So overall, Brandon Miller, buy his stock. Volume's going up, usage rate's going up. Overall, Brandon Miller on the up. Also, something I wanted to mention, the Knicks and the Cavs are both 8-2 in their last 10, and nobody really seems to be talking about the Cavs. The Knicks have been getting a little bit of love because of the Anunoby trade, and everybody on social media is talking about how great they look, and that's cool. I love it. I'm a Knicks guy, love my Knicks. But the Cavs have won 8 in a row. Like, the Cavs are looking sick. And this is without DG the PG. No Garland. Cavs have won 8 in a row. No Garland, no Mobley. Jared Allen has stepped up big time. As well as another guy, Sam Merrill. Sam Merrill has been stepping up huge. He's been getting a lot of opportunity, and he has been capitalizing on it. He has made over 5 triples in his last 3 games, if I'm not mistaken. He had 8 the other night. This guy came out of nowhere, and he's shooting lights out. So I think the Cavs are in a great spot. I think they're looking really good right now. And I think when they have Mobley come back, and I think when Garland comes back, now that they know they have this proven depth, if you will, especially with Craig Porter too, he slowed down a little bit. I think he kind of fills more of a role that Donovan Mitchell fills when he's in. So when Donovan Mitchell's gone, Craig Porter's in. And now I guess Sam Merrill. It's the Sam Merrill show, baby. Jared Allen has stepped up a lot. He's had a couple of monster games these past few weeks. So overall, Cavs are looking really good. Knicks are looking really good. And I haven't been hearing a lot about it. That's going to wrap this one up, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is my first time making content like this, so I'm definitely open for any form of constructive criticism or suggestions you guys have. Drop them down in the comments below. If you like the content, give it a like. We're trying to build a brand here, and it's really hard to do that with no subscribers. So if you guys like the content, feel free to subscribe. Feel free to share it. Hopefully we can turn this into something pretty big, pretty consistent, and pretty regular. But until next time, thanks for watching.